Coach, we're recording this the day before spring football starts, and everyone that is on social media knows that when that horn goes off for the first period, you're taking off to the other end zone. You're probably leaving some defensive linemen in your dust. Have we clocked the 40 recently? Do we know where we're standing right now when it comes to that event?
No, I try not to see the result. I just know that I go give my best every day. It's hopefully we'll not be leaving any of our D linemen in the dust. We've definitely got a group that's eager, and I'm sure I'll be chasing. But every day go attack it and be the best.
Because that's kind of a theme for you. Even when anyone listens to your press conference or a conversation like this, like it's very evident that you are, one, process oriented, but two, you love what you do. Where does that come from for you?
I mean, just opportunity. I'm so very blessed to be able to have an opportunity to lead this program, to be able to help impact the student athletes that I get to coach. I mean, they're working to be all that they can, and to be able to live out the dreams, the goals, and the aspirations that they have. So if I can be a small part of their journey and be able to inspire them to go achieve all that I believe that's in front of them, then we got a chance to do something really special. And it's every day you get one opportunity to go be able to make an impact. So I just want to go give everything I can, and you'll see those guys do the same.
Coach, when you compare what the 2023 season was to what this last season was for you, what do you feel like are the biggest maybe learnings or takeaways when you compare those two different data points?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's one of the greatest years, going through an undefeated, regular season and winning the championship game, all the things that came along with that. Obviously it was a disappointing end to it, but it was really a special year where you got to see a group of guys that just took full ownership in all parts of our program and the impact of that they could make. Incredible inspiration, and did something that'll be remembered forever. And then you come into last year, which obviously it was an extreme disappointment, and it was a year that we had the challenges that we faced. Some that were in our control, some things that happened that were out of our control, but we had an opportunity to respond. And as we sit there and you go through it, you get a chance to reflect. You sit back and see some of the areas where maybe a disconnect showed up, or an opportunity for us to grow and get better, and our process and being able to make sure that the things that we say we want it to look like, or the things that are a priority for us, that we truly pour all into that process, and being able to accomplish the goals and the tasks that are in front of us. And when you see that with the team coming together as we're moving forward into a new year, it is that ownership. It is that, the edge that's necessary on a daily basis, a desperation to go win, to be the best that you can be, to capitalize, with what you have in front of you. And, the good Lord's blessed us, with skill and talent and an ability to do the job that we do. And we got to go make the most of it. And so, that's one of the things that we really try to instill in this team in the off season. And, guys that have that drive, that passion, that desire, let's go be all. And, I've really been pleased with what I've seen in the first 8 weeks of our winter program, and, trying to take some of those lessons of things that showed up in the past, and, we be able to build upon it, and, go make sure that we're the best we can be here as we move forward.
And Coach, you mentioned, turn into a new year, and obviously new faces on the field, but also some new faces on the staff, making not one, but two new coordinator hires. What was the criteria for you in hiring a Gus Malzahn and a Tony White?
It starts with the people, and these guys, they have great hearts. They've done an extraordinary job throughout their career in building relationships, and being able to help the guys that they've coached on their journeys, and helping them maximize the potential that they have. And when you see these guys, are both incredible innovators. I mean, offensively, defensively, the style of play, the mindset, the approach. I mean, these guys are just they're inspirational in what they've done. And the way that they've done it, and and obviously so very creative in being able to utilize personnel of all different types to be able to go out there and be extremely productive on their respective side of ball. And so, I mean, they were absolute home run hires for us, and guys that have truly hit the ground running since they've been here in December, and really excited about what we've been able to accomplish leading into spring practice. But really fired up up for what the next 15 practices will be, and the steps that our players will be able to take under their leadership.
I got to think that the folks in Tallahassee, when they saw that you hired a Power 4 head coach to be your offensive coordinator, Gus Malzahn, what were the conversations you had with him making that pivot from being a head coach and then going to being an offensive coordinator on your staff?
Well, I mean, we have a 20-year relationship, and I actually got my start in Division I football, as his GA years back at Tulsa, and so we stayed in touch throughout. And he's been just a great friend throughout my career, and somebody I've got so much respect for. And as you look at this game and some of the changes within college football, I mean, he is such an incredible offensive mind, and he's really made his mark on the game of college football by what he does, how he does it. And with the head coaching position, I mean, there's a lot of different hats that you have to wear. And as we got into conversation, his desire to be able to make that impact, to be able to be hands-on and helping build an offense, and to be able to inspire the confidence and the execution, and just really have that side of a ball. I mean, that is his passion, and it really worked out just incredibly for us, and the fact that we had an opportunity that really worked for both sides. And it's been a joy for me to watch his passion as he's been pouring into our players, and just having him on this staff, with our other coaches, and just being able to utilize him as a tremendous resource, for me and for our players and coaches, everybody alike, and be able to bring him here to Florida State.
And with the offensive side being your specialty, one question I had when you brought him on your staff was, what will be your involvement on a week-to-week basis when it comes to you guys putting together a game plan? Will that be something you pass off to him primarily? Will that be fluid? How does that look in your mind here as we sit here during the month of March before spring practice even starts?
Well, we have an incredible working relationship, and I mean, he's here to run the offense, and that's something that I believe that in my role as a head coach, I mean, this will allow me so many more opportunities to be able to stay connected with our players, to be able to support our coaches, to be able to make sure that that we're adhering to the standard of what Florida State football is all about, in every aspect. But then I'm here to support him as well, and I do have a background on the offensive side of the ball. We have worked together, really the core of the foundation of offense that I came up with. It was really something we did together years ago, and so there are so many similarities. But I mean, I'm gonna be able to assist him in every way to help us go and win games, and to be the best offense that we can possibly be. And I'm really excited about the job that he's going to do as he's leading and helping push us forward.
So, Coach, I got to ask, you mentioning that you were his GA when you started in Division I football, do you have any, I'm putting you on the spot here, any like Gus Malzahn stories or early impressions? Because I got to think like, hey, you're getting your start in D1 football as a GA and all the things that come with that. Anything that you can share with us of the first Mike Norvell and Gus Malzahn interactions?
I mean, it was funny because when I came to work for him, we knew of each other a little bit, but not, you didn't really have much of a relationship before that. So, I mean, we were both kind of new to figuring each other out. And, he is an extremely, process driven, individual. And so, I mean, I knew that, as whatever we did, it had to be on course of, what he was, accustomed to doing within a routine and structure. And, it's just probably no great funny stories, but he was somebody that inspired me through just his work ethic and his passion, and he really helps instill confidence, whether it's through his coaches, the players. I mean, because we were going to do things, and whatever it was that we were going to do, we're going to be the best at it. And in our 2 years working together, we had the number one offense in college football in back-to-back seasons, and really did it in a place where nobody expected that. And I know he liked drinking his coffee, and obviously whenever he came in, it was time to go to work. I made sure that he was set up right, and then we went and attacked the job that was in front of us.
So you're coaching up the top offense in college football. Probably not a lot of margin for some bunch of funny stories to fit in between the lines there. But Coach, you went out and got Thomas Castellanos to be in your quarterback room via the transfer portal. What made him the right guy?
I mean, I think Tommy's a guy that's, one of the most electric playmakers in college football. I've had to compete against him the last 2 years. Obviously, I've watched him. I've known him since he was in high school. Coach Malzahn, was able to coach him his first year there at UCF. And so there's kind of a background and understanding familiarity of him. And you're just so impressive to see, the type of young man that he is, the way that he's been able to come into our program. I mean, he really truly cares about the guys that he gets to do it with. He's got he's a confident young man, but he's also one that's really selfless in his approach. And whether it's trying to give himself to help impact a teammate, the willingness to sacrifice his time and energy and just to pour into others is really things that I've been extremely pleased with in these first 2.5 months that I've got to be around him. He's just really does bring a total package when it comes to that position, because when he steps on the field, he makes special things happen. I've had to, like I said, having to defend him for 2 years. He's definitely given us enough headaches, and excited to see him in Garnet and Gold, helping us build this offense to all it can be.
And the portal is something that y'all have had a lot of success in historically. I mean, you go down the resume from a Keon Coleman to a Jared Verse and so on and so forth, something y'all have had, like I said, a tremendous hit rate when it comes to the transfer portal. Moving forward at Florida State, is there a somewhat perfect percentage you're aiming for to have your roster built of with the transfer portal and the high school recruiting? Is there a perfect balance you're trying to strike there?
Well, I mean, it's got to fit, your team, and it's got to fit, the needs that you have within positions, and where can you find, complementary players to come in and help with the foundation that you have and what you're building. There's been years that we've had, an emphasis like this year. I really like our young group of offensive linemen, and we had some veterans that were in a room, but we needed to go get guys that had probably a little bit of experience that could help, one, be an example for the guys that we have that are a little bit younger, and to be able to build that competition within a room. And we end up bringing 4 guys that all had 2 years of starting experience, that with at least 2 years of starting experience, they could come in and really be that example, but you'll be able to complement the guys we have in that room. And then on the flip side of it, you look at the defensive backfield. We didn't bring in a transfer as a group that even though it's still got a good amount of youth in it, guys that have been able to get some experience, guys that I believe are right there ready to go take that next step. And, so we really had a balance by position of what we feel is a need. And then, obviously, where can we make our football team, better, and continuing to elevate, that standard and level of play that we all expect from each position, and then overall within our program.
So, Coach, we are, give or take, 24 hours as we're recording this before you guys jump into spring football. What is the number one thing that you want to be true about this team at the end of practice 15?
I want to see the identity and that edge that shows up on a daily basis. I want to see a team that gets better throughout each practice opportunity, but one that's willing to do what is necessary to go put ourselves in a position to win every day, to win every rep, to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to do to be able to separate ourselves from every other school that's out there that we might have to line up against, where it's not about them, it's truly about us, and the investments we're willing to make to go be successfI it's been a challenge that we've issued to guys back in December, with the guys coming back, with the guys coming in. I want to see that edge, and I want it to be something that when people watch us play, they feel Florida State football, and that's something that has to be earned. That's something that has to be developed. And we're 2 months in, and now we get to go take it on a football field and to be able to put it into action. So really excited to see that continued development as we push forward to what's ahead in 2025.
Coach, last question for you. Deion Sanders, I think it was yesterday, actually, as we're taping this on a Tuesday. Yesterday, he said, hey, we'd be down to have somebody come out to Boulder and have a joint practice with us. Not necessarily would y'all go out to Boulder and do that whole deal, but is that something you could see Florida State doing in the future, hosting someone for a couple of days and then playing your spring game against them? Is that a sustainable model in your mind?
I think it's definitely something that's unique, in thought process. I mean, I think you see NFL, teams that they do the joint practices there in fall camp. I think there's definitely, an avenue and a path where that could be, beneficial. That's something that I wouldn't be opposed to, in a big picture part of it, but it's also, a lot of the logistical elements and, different dynamics that run into this new age of college football that I think you'd have to be able to work through and make sure you found the right fit and obviously the right, place to be able to go, have a different opponent that you'd work with through spring. But, I think there's some merit to it. And we've seen that in the NFL of how teams have been able to kind of incorporate that with through their fall camps. It's definitely something I think people will continue to talk about as we move forward.
Because I was going to say, we don't envy you having to try to figure out what spring football is going to look like here in the future with the portal and all that. But we appreciate all your time. Best of luck during spring practice, and can't wait to watch y'all get after it in the fall.
Well, JD, appreciate you having me on, and go Noles.